Good afternoon. Welcome to the UFC 75 Champion versus Champion press conference.
It's the acronym for the Ultimate Fighting Championship. What it comprised of, however, is a sport of mixed martial artists that compete inside an octagon, which is a caged ring. They combine a series of martial arts and put those together as an amalgamation of the sport. If you come to a fight, I think what you're blown away most by is the reaction of the crowds and the energy that we put into the show and the crowd feeds off of. The fighters feed off of it, but it's the competition of the fighters themselves. I think that what they put on in the ring is what the crowd feeds off of, and that energy you leave as if you had walked out of the biggest rock concert you ever left from. We're planning now. We foresee at least 4 events in the UK in 2008. And we're hoping to get out in Europe. We're hoping to get into Germany or Italy. Those are our targets. Dana mentioned Germany today. That's the one that feels like it's going to happen, but you never know sometimes until it happens. So the competitive organizations, in some ways they serve a benefit because they're building the fighters that will fight for us. In America, there's a phrase in American baseball called the show, where you fight in all these small organizations, but you get to the show. We're clearly the show. So these organizations are in some way helpful to us so that they don't bother us in any way. So for us, they're serving some purpose. Well, we are various forms of UFC programming. When you think about what we do, we have Ultimate Fighter, we have a highlight show, we have the pay-per-view events, we have fight nights. We have so much programming that we are really in about over 100 countries right now with various forms of programming. So one of the things I'm trying to do with the group in the U.S. is come up with a cohesive strategy to get more programming out there, get more programming in front of people, market it the right way, and not just sell programming to a network and have them do what they want with it. We intend to be partners with them, come into the markets that make sense, and really help lift the whole sport, throughout the world. I used to box a little bit. I was always athletic, but no. Right now it's me and my son. That's what we do. We get into our underwear and we fight like UFC fighters. It's a real disaster, but we enjoy it. I think it's really we're only on the cusp of really how big this can be. And because of the international stars that are being built, I think that internationally this is going to be as big as maybe, in our dream, maybe as big as football one day, maybe.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. Very excited to be back here in the UK. The fight this weekend, this is the most tickets sold, I think, since 1995 for a fight in London. Finally, after 7 years, there's always been all the talk. This guy's better than that guy. This guy would beat this guy. Now we've got them all. We've almost got them all. We're close to having them all, and we're about one away from answering all the questions that people have been asking for years. Who's the best fighter in the world in every weight class? Obviously, it's a very exciting time for me, but I think it's an exciting time for MMA fans, for anybody who's just getting in. It's the next year and a half, 2 years are going to be nothing but mega fights with all the greatest stars in mixed martial arts. It's awesome. Dan, we're respecting him as the champion from Pride. It's champion versus champion. He has both belts in Pride, and one of them is going to walk away champion. They'll be the UFC champion. This kid, Houston Alexander, the fight was at the MGM Grand. Everywhere I went, this kid was popping out behind pillars and walls, and everywhere I went, this kid would pop up and go, "Mr. White, wait till you see what I do on Saturday night. You're not going to believe it. I'm going to come in there and I'm going to do this." Everywhere I went, this kid would pop out from somewhere and tell me what he was going to do, and he wasn't lying. He came out, and those guys went at it, toe-to-toe. He ends up knocking out Keith Jardine in 48 seconds. Obviously, a huge win for him, which has got him this fight here with Alessio Sakara. And a win over Alessio, seriously, this kid's second fight, cements this kid as one of the up-and-coming big dogs in the light heavyweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, Houston Alexander.
That was a great introduction. Wow. How are you guys doing?
Hi, this is Houston Alexander with the UFC, and you're watching Martial Arts TV.
You know what? I appreciate the opportunity to be fighting in the UFC. I've watched a lot of fighters over the past couple of months, and it's really amazing to me to come all the way from Nebraska to all the way over here to London. So actually, I'm really surprised that I'm here, but rest assured that I do belong.
on record, I'm 7-1. But with the other smaller shows that I've done over 7 years, I probably had over 200 fights. Well, you know what? I got to MMA on an accident because a friend of mine dared me to go to a show and get in the ring, and because there was a current champion who was at this particular show who was winning every week. So what I did was I signed up and got in, and I beat the guy to a pulp. Very aggressive, very ferocious, just very energetic. So if you're looking to or see a boring fight from me, you might be looking at the wrong fight. But of course, everyone knows this is Leonidas from the 300. It's inspired by the 300 movie, and it's the no retreat, no surrender attitude that those guys have is what I have in the ring. It's what I have in life. I have 6 children that I have custody of. I don't want them to see me on TV getting my ass kicked. So there you go. There's definitely a motivation.
The gentleman that I'm facing, he's probably one of the better fighters I've seen, and we have similar styles. So what you guys are going to see is a lot of action.
It's going to be a really interesting fight because Sakara likes to hit. I like to hit, so I can't make a prediction right now because I wouldn't. But I'm just hoping that I come out the victor.
He trained very hard standing because he knows the opponent is very hard, very tough guy, and then he wanna fight like he wanna be on the middle of the octagon, and then check it out what is gonna happen.
I am very proud to be going up against my opponent. I respect my opponent, and I respect the organization.
I'm appreciating the fans. I'm appreciating the different recognition that I am getting from all over the world. So I just appreciate everyone, media, fans, on whomever who enjoys watching me fight. Willie Stewart, Curly Alexander is probably one of the premier wrestling coaches in the state of Nebraska. If you guys know anything about Nebraska out there, and the guys I train with, Dez, Tim, Brian, and Ron. Those guys are in my camp. But it's a pretty tight camp. It's not really loose net. Not a lot of people coming in. It's just us. We have us against the world type attitude. So we're in a small gym. McDowell's martial arts. Martial arts. You know what? When you mention martial arts, the first thing that comes to mind is the respect. When you're mentioning martial arts, you're mentioning the different styles, or there's a certain type of fighting style that you're a part of that you have to respect. So when I think of martial arts, that's what I think of. Here it says Corn Hustler. It's a nickname of in the streets of Nebraska, of Omaha. So I got this for myself because I've been hustling all my life, and I'm still in the UFC hustling. So I'm hustling to get to the top of the food chain. So yeah.
So does anybody have any questions?
All right, the main event of the evening, the light heavyweight championship of the UFC. Rampage Jackson versus Dan Henderson. Dan Henderson is fighting out of Temecula, California, and has a record of 22-5.
Hello. I'm excited about this fight, more just for what Dana White had said. It's the biggest fight in MMA history. It's definitely the biggest fight of my career, so it's something I'm very excited to be a part of and to have that opportunity to finally show the world who the best 205-pounder really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the UFC champion, light heavyweight, Rampage Jackson.
Don't blink Saturday night, because I train real hard, because this is a very important fight to me. I know a lot of people, used to look at the old me, but I changed and got new trainers, new sparring partners, and it's going to be some fireworks on said. Don't blink, none of y'all. Dan Henderson think the fight could go 25 minutes. I disagree. I train to end fights. That's what I'm going to do. I promise you.
Go ahead, do it by the count. Go ahead.
I've got to know Rampage a little bit when he was here last at the press conference, and there was a moment where he stared down one of the beef eaters in front of, it may have been the Palace, I can't remember now. It was iconoclastic what happened. He actually had the gentleman said, can you step away from me? Because he was staring him down like that. So I got to know him, and he's a genuine guy. So I'm just getting to know Dan a little bit. So in some ways, because I know him better, you want to pull for him. But you really can't pull in our position. You just want to see a good fight. You want the fans to enjoy it. So for me, it's going to be a great night.
Rampage, he has just natural fighting ability, and what I've seen in his fight, his last loss, that he wasn't trained properly just by seeing it, the ways he was treated in the ring. He was actually injured in that fight. I think they should have stopped the fight. It looked like he had a bad injury. Not necessarily from the fight, it looked like something happened to him. So seeing how he was treated, being the wild fighter he was, I just said, I pray for this guy that somebody could teach him how to fight and know what to do in his fights, cerebrally know it. This guy's gonna be champion of the world. Quentin's biggest strength is his power and his explosiveness. He's becoming more of a technical fighter, and that with power and explosiveness and elusiveness. I brought in sparring partners, about 20 sparring partners, anything from mid-beginners to world-class guys. I think we like to avenge his losses. We've done that with Marvin Eastman. Like to see him fight, of course, Vanderlei Silva. Like to see him fight Shogun. I think the world would. Rampage is something different. You have to really know his character to prepare him mentally. He always has the funny side of him, but really getting him focused, it's something that I can't explain. But keeping him humble, keeping him grounded, that's the most important thing. If I can continue to do that, and us work together by doing that, achieving that, it's not going to be a problem getting him focused. If he gets outside that little circle, I think that's when it becomes, a problem, because any athlete that becomes the best in the world, not just Quentin Jackson, anybody, you really start believing and selling yourself that you're untouchable, that's when you become weak. Right now, you don't feel that. He feels he has to be the best, stay the best, get the wins, and he'll stay on top.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Hamill.
I have never been so excited about anything in my life, and I was better than Bisping. And it's the good striking and the great of style, and it's going to be one heck of a fight. But I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. Thanks, Dana, for the very kind words. As he said, Manchester was an amazing event for me. The crowd was just absolutely unbelievable, as Dana said. And, I never said thanks to the fans for that. So if any of them are watching on TV or wherever, thank you. I'm fighting Matt Hamill, wrestler from America. For preparation for this fight, I've been training where I always train, the Wolfslayer MMA Academy. Although I did go up to Big Bear, California, training at altitude. It's 9,000 feet altitude, so helps out obviously with the fitness and the cardio. I've been working with Rampage Jackson and all of his team. That's been fantastic, and looking forward to Saturday night and hopefully doing the UK proud. I'm fighting Matt Hamill Saturday night. I know he's wanted this fight for a long time. That's his. He fell out of the Ultimate Fighter. He hurt his arm. That's that. I've won the Ultimate Fighter. But he's proved himself in the octagon. I'm fighting him Saturday night. Well, this fight with Matt, it's not really special for me. It's more of a special for him. It's an opportunity for him. He's been calling me out and saying I've been ducking him and things like that. I just think he's trying to build a career off beating me. So I wasn't too keen on the fight for them reasons. I want to forget about being on the Ultimate Fighter show and concentrate on the guys in the UFC. But he's got his own way, and I don't like the guy, so I suppose you could say it's a bit special in that. This is the first time I've fought someone that I actually don't like. I think stylistically, this is probably a harder fight for me. Like I said, because he's wrestling. I prefer someone who's going to stand and bang with me. That's what I like to do. I respect the guy as a fighter and an individual. As a competitor, and what he's overcome in his life. I respect him for that. But as a person, I don't like him, and hopefully going to enjoy knocking him out. He's a tough wrestler, so I'm looking forward to fighting him. He's an Olympic standard wrestler, and I haven't fought anybody like that. So, it's going to be good for me to answer that question of whether I can handle someone who's trying to do that to me. So, as Matt rightly said, it's going to be a heck of a fight. He says he's going to stop me. I think he's dreaming.
Yeah, I feel perfect. I'm very confident. fighting. And with Pittsburgh, then I'm one-dimensional wrestling. He's halfway. He's halfway, and I'm one-dimensional wrestling. But I've been training for a year and a half, and I wanted something to prove myself. And this could be a really good fight on Saturday.
A lot of visualization. You know, you got to visualize yourself being there, being in the cage, being in the octagon, walking out, feeling the crowd. You know, like I say, you know, you just put yourself in that situation in your head. You know, because otherwise, you know, you can get a little bit carried away, as I did before in Manchester. You know, the adrenaline was just it took over me, and you know, I acted a little amateurish. But it's all about experience. You know, this is my 4th UFC fight, and you know, each time I take something away, and you know, like I say, it's all about experience. Yep, like you say, wasn't expecting the crowd's reaction last time, and you know, it definitely affected me. You know, the adrenaline was crazy. I was a little bit amateurish. I thought, you know, I ran to the octagon, as we all saw. You know, and I can't even remember going there, and the adrenaline was ridiculous, you know. But like I said, nothing could have prepared me for that. But now I'm expecting something similar, if not better. So I'm prepared for that. I've been visualising it. You know, in between training sessions in Big Bear, I've been sat in the jacuzzi, visualising walking in and visualising the crowd. And you know, this time I'll be more focused and try and, you know, be cool, calm and collected. Any fans out there, you know, hopefully there's 1 or 2. Any fans out there, they can expect what I always give, you know. I go out there, I give it 110%. I train for all my fights like a man possessed. I've done that again this time. I'm fit, I can train 10 rounds. You can expect me to go out there and I'm going to look to try and finish the fight like I have all my fights, you know. I'm going to try and knock him out. Obviously, Matt's going to have a wrestling advantage over me, but in terms of takedown defence, you know, he thinks he can take me down at will. I disagree. I'm a better striker. I have more experience. I'm better. You see, he can take me down, but I think he's in fear of a submission on the floor. You know, I can submit him off my back. I've done it before. I'll do it again. You know, I'm fitter. You know, I don't know. We'll see. You know, we'll watch the fight Saturday night. See what happens.
Mirko Cro Cop.
Hello everyone, thank you Dana. Actually Dana already told everything I wanted to tell. Well, as you all know, I lost my last fight in Manchester, so it was a hard time for me and I trained harder than ever. And I'm completely ready now and I'm expecting good and tough fight Saturday night. And I'm looking forward. Thank you. No. I'm just joking. I'm a professional fighter and that's my job, and I took a hard kick to my head, but I'm okay. I was really okay, and MR showed no damage, and I'm really okay. Thank you. Thank you for your concern. Let's say injection of inspiration, and I can say that I trained harder than ever in my life in the last 3 months.
No, I'm very excited to be over here fighting in the UK. What I had said was my first fight in the UFC, I was expecting to fight 2 hours from my hometown where all my friends and family can go. That's what I was disappointed about. I'm not disappointed about fighting in front of the UK fans at all. I'm very excited about that opportunity. I hear they're pretty rowdy fans, so I'm excited about that opportunity.
I think golf should be banned, but you know what? A lot of people like playing golf and watching it. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
18 deaths a year in boxing. I don't think there's been 1 death in MMA. You know, are you calling for boxing to be banned?
There's some people out there that don't like contact sports. Don't watch it. There's a lot of things I don't like either. I don't watch them. You know.
And they need to ban the ballet. Those guys can get a hernia or something picking up those girls, and they got those tight ass pants on. That should be embarrassing. That's bad. And ban it. I'm first to help you. Who want to start that? Ban ballet.
For us, it's not even close. For us, the BMA, who came out with the recent report, is completely off base here. We really think they're a bunch of elitists, frankly, that just don't like our sport. They've, I think, tried to pigeonhole us with boxing. They've been against boxing, but to pigeonhole us without really doing any research or investigation in a sport where there's been no serious injuries or deaths, I think is, frankly, offensive.